Well, Portsmouth this weekend. I guess one of these fixtures that really always catches the eye right at the start. A club who've got so much history, great place to go.
It is a great place to go, and we had a fabulous result there at the end of last season. Great game. There's always 20,000 there, so it'll be a fantastic atmosphere, and it's one I always look forward to. I would imagine they'll be right up there challenging us towards the end of the season. I think they're now 8 unbeaten at home, so they're going strong at home at the moment.
Yeah, last season a really good example of what you can do on the road, because they came at you all guns blazing and you just managed to pick them off.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect it to be slightly different given the nature of the game last season, where it was a win at all costs for both teams, and the game was played out that way. I have to say they were a lot more dominant in possession. We'll have to make sure that that's not the case, hopefully, on Saturday. But no, it's a game I'm really looking forward to. 2 good teams, 2 attacking teams.
Yeah, and it really underlines the nature of League One as well, that huge variety in fixtures, in that sometimes you can get a weeknight where the atmosphere is a bit quieter, and then you can go to somewhere like Fratton Park and you know it's going to be red hot. Yeah,
we have to manage that. The opening period of the game, the opening 15 minutes there is always important. If we can quieten the fans down, because you can frustrate them, there's no doubt about that. But then again, if they get on top of you, they really do come alive. So it is something we need to manage. I'll be tapping into Tomo a little bit because he knows that club very well. But no, we expect a very difficult game. It's always very difficult when you go there.
Yeah, and much like yourselves, they've got a really strong home record. They've had a slower start to the season than they would have liked, but they now seem to be building momentum on all fronts.
Yeah, they've got a bit of momentum going, like you say, because their home form's picked up. But we go there, we know we'll give them a game, but I would expect it to be a very tough game. We'll have to play very well, but that's always the case when you go up there. You have to. You very rarely come away from Portsmouth playing badly and winning. You have to make sure you can't carry anyone. There's no doubt about that. We're going to need everyone, both on the ball and off the ball. But certainly if we do things right, we will cause them problems.
Yeah, and it's got that interested added edge as well, in that they're playing catch up and will want to get back into the mix. If you can win the game, not only do you take the 3 points, but it keeps them back as well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, we're still relatively early into the season in terms of, we're just over a third. There's still a lot of football to be played, and it's quite a collection of clubs around us. So, it's just a case of going there playing for 3 points. But like I say, we're going to have to perform well on the day, and I'm hopeful we can do that. We're very capable of doing that, and very capable on the counter attack as well.
Do you fully expect them to be in the mix come the end?
Yeah, I fully do. I think the way they are, the squad they've got, a very, very experienced manager at this level. I'd be quite surprised if they weren't, but you never know. But certainly they've picked up form lately, especially at home.
When it comes to your home form, as you've said, the midfield diamonds work well for you. You just have to look at the results. What is it? Only 3 games, I think, in all competitions where you haven't got the wins. It seems like a while ago, but you're coming into this away game off the back of the 2 defeats away from home at the start of November. Has that given you food for thought at all, or is it a case of those 2 matches now are so far away that you just start afresh?
Well, I think we have to perform better away from home. I mean, I think that's clear. And I don't think it's a case of formation-wise, because, formation, the games in terms of home and away don't change. It's just the atmosphere, and maybe, we've got more confidence at home or something. Certainly, I don't think, because the formation shouldn't come into it whether it's home or away. We know it. If it's a diamond formation, we know it very, very well. If it's another one, we've got 3 different ones we could play. So we know them very, very well. I think it's more about the structure, and it's more about certain things we need to do better. For example, away from home, you need to pass the ball well. You can't continue giving the ball away, because that means that you're going to be put under pressure. That means the crowd's always on top of you, things like that. We're going to have to make sure we've got a good shape about us, and we're going to have to make sure that we're very good when the ball changes hands, in terms of generally when teams are at home, they're a little bit more open, so counter-attacks become more possible. So they are the 3 things away from home. First and foremost, we have to go there and keep the ball better than we have been doing. And I think that's a key thing we've been working on.
Yeah, you played some really lovely counter-attacking football so far this season. You've certainly got the players to make it happen. Is there sometimes a case of when you know you've got that quality, when you win the ball back, you can be a bit too anxious to make it happen and play that excellent pass straight away?
Well, I have to admit that I feel that I have to accept that we're not maybe going to be a team that keeps 70% possession. I have to say that. I don't think we are going to be that team at the moment that's going to do that. So that's fine. It's not an issue, that. It's just I have to. Other teams I've had before we've kept possession for a lot longer, but when you've got players with such speed counter attacks, when you've got players that also can pick a pass with one pass, that means possession stats go way down, because if you're winning the ball back and within two passes we're creating chances, then why change that? You never would. Even when we're playing at home against Dover, Christie's thrown one, Wardy's given it to Mo, he's crossed it to Ivan, he's hit it just past the post. If that goes in, it's 3 passes as a goal. So your possession stats go down, but I'm not going to start thinking, right, pass the ball, lads, but don't score goals. You've got to get the blend a little bit. We've had one very, very good area, whereas I feel possession-wise we need to be better, and we keep working on it. But it's not going to keep me up at night. It's all about winning games and different ways of doing it.
Yeah, and it's so important, isn't it, with a group of players that, try and improve them and work with them and do the work on the training ground, but there's no point in trying to make them something that they're not. You want to be playing to your strengths, and it does seem that sometimes managers do fall into that trap of wanting to do a certain thing regardless. Yeah,
perhaps I've done it myself a long time ago, but when you get experience, it's just about how you have to understand your players, and perhaps we just haven't got the midfield players that can keep possession like for 70% of games, and perhaps maybe full-back areas as well. We've got more runners and things like that. So, but what we have got is a team that can score lots of goals, and it doesn't matter how you do it. But certainly the stats up to now would suggest that keeping possession and having a lot of possession in games is something that hasn't really been a consistent theme throughout the season. But then again, it's not really been a problem.
And just finally on the January transfer window, we're talking about Portsmouth being a bit off the pace and wanting to get back up there. How significant do you think the window will be for League One this season, in that you've got Ipswich, Portsmouth, Sunderland, you have got sides who potentially could spend a bit of cash?
Well, you don't know what others are going to do, and you don't know whether they've got the budgets, the capabilities, and really how many players can one club bring in January. Our club's almost going to start again. Clubs have changed their manager during the season. So, for example, you mentioned Sunderland, they've got a different manager from the start of the season. Are they going to go and completely change the whole team for the last 4 months of the season? That can be very difficult. For me, looking at what we need, I know what we've needed since the summer, because it's still the same sort of players that we're probably going to go after. We didn't get them then, but we've waited and been patient, and we hope we get them in January. If not, we go with what we've got. But I know the areas we need to strengthen.
Do you think there is the potential for you to press the button and make it happen quite quickly? I know the January window can sometimes be a bit trickier.
Yeah, January's never good in terms of, as a manager, there's always speculation, in particular with the team I've got, on players leaving. So that's never a good thing. That's when the manager wants January out of the way. So the hope is that unless there's ridiculous bids, then we hope that doesn't happen. But you never know with the potential we've got in the squad and obviously the attention that some players are getting. But that'll, I suppose, take care of itself. My job's to identify where I feel need to strengthen and identify the right players. And they've already been identified. Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get number one, but we'll try our best.